Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the Nope Trope book tag. So this tag was created by zoe'sallbooked, so I'll make sure to leave her video down below so you guys can go check it out because it was amazing. I love her channel. And I was actually tagged to do this video by my best friend Peyton Reads, so I'll also try to link her video down below as well, so you can also check it out if you haven't already because we stan Miss Peyton Reads. Okay, so I don't typically do tags very often, and I don't know why, but I'm very excited to do this one, so let's just get right on into it. So the first question is eavesdropping with miscommunication. Name a book you heard great things about and expected to love, but ended up hating. So for me, this is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I bought this book shortly after it was released because I heard amazing things about it. It was gonna be my second Victoria Schwab book because I read the archived and I loved it, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I'm so excited for this book. And it sounded amazing. Everybody and their mother loves this book. I've heard very few negative things about it, and so when I finally went to pick it up, I think it was last year, I was just so disappointed by it, and I'm so mad that I didn't like it, guys, because I love Victoria Schwab with my whole heart, and I've loved like almost everything else that I've read by her. But I didn't care about the characters, I didn't care about the plot, didn't care about literally anything. I felt like the world building was lacking. Like I don't think I liked anything about that book besides the actual writing style, because Victoria Schwab never fails to amaze me in how amazing her writing style is. But yeah, I'm so sad. I even read Our Dark Duet because I thought maybe I was wrong, give it a second chance. I can see Joey's nose poking out from under my door because he hears me talking and he's like, "Mommy, what are you doing in there?" So cute. And I listened to it on audiobook because I thought maybe that would make it a bit easier. I didn't even care about that one either. Like, a big thing happens at the end and I got to it and I'm like, okay. At first I didn't even realize that it happened because I wasn't really paying attention, but then once I realized what had happened, I was like, oh, okay. And like people had like said that this broke them apart, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So unfortunately I did not like this Savage Song. I really wish that I had, because I really wanted to love it, but I didn't, and I'm so sad about it. Oh my god, Jojo. Mommy's filming a video. You can't come in right now. He has his paw under the door now. It's so cute. Question number 2 is love triangles. Name a series where you can't pick your favorite book. So I had a really hard time with this question because typically with series I know very well like what my favorite book is, and I typically do have one that's a bit more of a least favorite. So I did have a hard time coming up with this one, and even with this one I still could probably pick a favorite, but it's been so long since I've read the entire series that I don't know which one is my favorite, so I figured this is really the only one I can do for this challenge, and that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I think my favorite is Blood Promise. I think. And I'm gonna reread it this month, I think. But I have no idea. I love this series with my whole entire being. It's just really fun. I love these characters. I love the story. I love the drama and the trashiness of it. It's just so good, and I wish more people would read this series. It used to be really hyped up, and now no one really talks about it, and it's so sad because it's so good. I wish they had prettier covers, but let's just ignore that. Like, I love every single book in this series so much, but it's been so long since I've read the last 3 books in the series because I started to reread last year and I made it up to Shadow Kiss, so I have no idea how I feel about the rest of the books, but I think my favorite is Blood Promise, just based on like reading the summaries of the books. I think my favorite was Blood Promise, but it's so hard to tell. Shadow Kiss is another favorite. I don't know. I love them all so much that it's really hard to pick a favorite. I don't know. It's just such a good series, and if you guys have not picked this up yet and you want like some good vampire stuff, read this book because it's just so much fun. Although there are trigger warnings specifically for this book with self-harm. I can't remember how prevalent it is in the other books, but there's definitely self-harm in this book, and also animal abuse as well. So just keep that in mind. If you don't like reading about that, maybe skip out on this one. But besides that, this book is amazing and I do recommend it. I can't pick a favorite. It's just such a good series. And number 3, notice other girls. Notice other girls, you idiot. Not like other girls / didn't know I was beautiful. Name a book that has a pretty cover but was boring as hell. I actually have 3 for this one, and I actually don't own any of them anymore. I used to own all 3 and I've since unhauled all of them. So the first one was Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This is literally one of the prettiest book covers I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's so stunning. The pinks and the blacks. It's so beautiful, and the whites. It's literally one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my entire life, and I was so excited to read it. Even the synopsis was beautiful, and I expected to love this book with my entire being. Thought it was going to be like a new favorite, and it wasn't. I don't know. I was so disappointed by this book. I wanted so much from it, and I just got none of that. Literally, I don't like it. I wish that I had, like, I desperately wish that I had, and I kept the book on my shelf for so long, so I was like, it's so beautiful, maybe I'll reread it one day and I can try to love it again. But then I just kept seeing more people talk about it, and they would like post like screenshots from the book, and I would read them and I'd be like, no, I don't like this. And so I'm still so sad about it because I wanted to love it so much, and it seemed like something that I would fall head over heels in love with, and I just didn't, and I'm very sad about it. It's just so beautiful. The next one was Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. I love Adam Silvera with my entire being. I have all of his books up here. I love him to death. But Infinity Sun, I was already nervous going into it because it's his very first fantasy book. I'm always kind of nervous when an author switches genres. They go like from contemporary to fantasy or fantasy to contemporary. There's always a bit of like, can they do this? I don't know. And unfortunately, Infinity Sun just didn't work for me, but this cover is so beautiful. The colors, even the arc of this was beautiful. I had the arc for it and it was so gorgeous. It's so shiny, and the oranges and like the browns of it is just stunning, and I really wanted to love this book, and I just didn't. I didn't like the characters, I didn't care for the story or the world building. Nothing about this book, unfortunately, was for me. And I'm really sad about it because I love Adam Silvera and I wanted to continue to support him with his fantasy books. I can't. It's so sad. And then the last one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book is so beautiful, especially under that dust jacket. Oh, it's black and it has like silver detailing on the like hardcover. Oh, it's so gorgeous. But I really did not like this book. I started physically reading it and then I had to switch to the audiobook because I was getting so bored. I'm like, I just need this to go faster. And so I listened to the audiobook, and I don't know what it was about it. It had gorgeous writing. It was so boring to me, and the characters I didn't care for. I didn't care for the romance. Like, it was hyped up in this like summary to be this like epic, groundbreaking romance, and I was like, oh, bitch, where? It just wasn't good, in my opinion. I did not like it. It was boring. It was confusing. All the different timelines were weird. I don't know what to tell you. Gorgeous. Not as good on the inside, in my opinion. Number 4, AllConsuming Love. Name a book that gave you a book hangover. I have the perfect one for this. I was actually just like rewatching some reading vlogs that happened right after I read this book. Definitely put me in like a bit, not like a book hangover because I was still reading, but I had a really hard time with it. So that book, if you guys know me at all, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. So this book I read in one sitting. This is a chunky contemporary and I read it in one sitting. Look at all my tabs. I love this book. So because I loved this book and I was just so consumed by my love for this book, it's all I could talk about, it's all I could think about, and I desperately wanted to reread it right after reading it, but I was like, no, Brittany, you have so many other books that you need to read. You cannot just sit here and reread this book a million times, even though that's all I wanted to do. And because I loved this book so much, I was so consumed by this love. Every other book that I read afterwards felt so lackluster. I also read They Both Die at the End, I think right before this one, and I also like was completely enamored by that one, read it in one sitting as well. I was just so filled with all of this love and obsession for these books that anything I read afterwards, I was just trying to like compare it. I'm like, it's not fair for any book I'm reading after this for me to love it. Like, I think I read Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy right after reading this one, and it was good. I really liked it, but I'm like, I can't stop thinking about What If It's Us. This book just stuck with me so much for some reason. It was just so adorable, and I was just, I don't know. I love this book a lot, and I'm gonna be rereading it soon, and I'm so excited. Number 5 is Douchebag Boyfriend. Name a book that took you a while to get into but you ended up loving. So I actually have 2 for this one. So the first one is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. It didn't take me too long to actually get into this book. I was enjoying it from like the very beginning, but it's just a very slow going book and a slow going series. I didn't give any of the books 5 stars until the last one. It's just a lot of build up to the world and all the characters and what's going on that not a lot happens, but the writing is so beautiful and the characters are amazing, so I was hooked from the beginning. But also I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because like there's nothing happening. But I'm a character driven reader, so the second that I fall in love with a character, I'm most likely to just enjoy whatever the hell we're doing. So it took me like a little bit to get into this one, to kind of start to get into what's actually happening in the story. But after that, I was hooked. I love this series with my entire heart. I can't wait to reread it one day. I just love this series so much, and so it's taken over my entire heart. It's one of my favorite series now of all time. I feel like it was so worth all of the slow going plot and all of like nothing happening. It was so worth it in the end. Just, oh, So good. And then the next one is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So this one, I started it and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I don't read a lot of actual just like adult romance books that are just like pure romance, but I am trying to get more into them because I really loved this book. But it took me maybe about, I don't even know how long, maybe 40-50 pages to actually get into the story because of the writing style for some reason. I just wasn't meshing with the writing style. It kind of felt a little juvenile for some reason. I don't know, I didn't really love the voice of the main character, but once I actually got into the story and things started to actually happen, I was hooked. I devoured this book after those like initial 50 pages. I devoured it. I could not put it down. I was giddy. I was having such a good time. I love these characters. I love their relationship. It is so good, and I definitely want to reread it. Like, this is, I think, one of Chelsea Darling Reid's favorite books, and I can definitely see why. Like, if you go on her Goodreads review for this book, she has so many rereads. Within just like 1 year, she read this book so many times, and I completely understand why. It gave me such a serotonin boost. It was just so good, so swoon-worthy, so amazing, and I'm just so happy that I read it. I'm so happy that I ended up loving it. And number 6 is tell us your least favorite and your favorite tropes. So I have a few favorite tropes. So I love friends to lovers. I don't know why. I just love it when they go from being such strong, adorable friends to just being like head over heels in love, or maybe one of them has feelings and then they realize that they love their friend, or like whatever. I love it. I also do love hate to love, even if it's something like The Hating Game or Red, White, and Royal Blue where the hate doesn't actually last very long. I don't care. I'm trash for it anyways. I just love that tension. It's amazing. It's excellence. It's golden. I love it. I also really love slow burn. Is that a trope or is that just a thing? I don't know. Slow burn romances are my favorite. Most of the books that I enjoy tend to have some sort of slow burn build up. When I write books, I typically go for the slow burn route. But I don't know. I just really love that slow burn, that craving for them to just get together and you're just like yelling at the page being like, oh my god, just kiss already. There's nothing better than that. It's frustrating as hell, but there's nothing better than that, let me tell you. And then for my least favorite tropes, I couldn't really think of anything because I feel like any trope can be done well. I think my first thought, I think most people's first thought is love triangles, but there are love triangles that I do enjoy, like the Infernal Devices between Jem, Will, and Tessa. Like, I do like love triangles. It just depends if they're done right. It depends if the person ends up with who I want them to end up with, which has only happened once where they haven't ended up with the person, and I was so mad. Summer, I turned pretty. I'm looking at you. So, still mad about it like 5 years later. Yeah, so I don't really have a least favorite trope. That was the Nope Trope book tag. This tag is so much fun to do. I'm not going to tag anybody to do it because I don't know who has done it, who hasn't done it. But if you want to do this tag, then consider yourself tagged by me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a huge thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Comment down below some of your least favorite and favorite tropes because I'd really love to know and talk about it with you guys. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!